It's time to take your business to the next level, the boss level. These are the premier business owner strategies and successes being utilized by the industry's top talent today. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss. Now let's welcome your host, Ann Ganguza.
Hey everyone, welcome to the VO Boss Podcast and the Business Superpower Series. I'm your host, Ann Ganguza, and I have with me Lau Lapidez. Woo!
Hey everyone! Good to see you, Ann.
Special guest co-host. Oh my gosh, Lau, I have had the best time having you as co-host.
I love it. I think you and I are like sisters from another mother. I love it. I think we got so much to talk about, so much to say. We have a great rapport.
We do. And you know what? I really have a lot of trust in you. And that is something that I feel when people are starting off in the industry, they need to find someone to trust, a tribe, a coach, a mentor, in order to help them get through the process. And I think trust is a huge ask for the talent, but I think it's absolutely necessary for success.
It is. I mean, you have to trust someone at some point in order to further your education and further your career and really be able to also kind of ignite personalized relationships where you're forecasting to people, the right people, well-selected people, that you're going to share thoughts that are authentic. You're going to be helpful in their journey. You're going to share things that are uncomfortable. I mean, that's really how we gain trust, and it doesn't happen overnight. It really is time. It takes time to gather trust.
Yeah, and I think a big factor in trust is obviously the fear that seems to be very prevalent when people start off in this industry, the fear that they're not good enough, they're not going to be successful. And I think it leads them to just not trust in themselves, not trust in other people they might have worked with or people on the internet. And I understand that in a lot of ways where you've got to be careful. But I feel as though if you have a member of the tribe, you've got to just invest in that trust to hope that they're guiding you in the right direction. Now, that is not to say that you should not educate yourself, right? So that you know who you can trust, right? And kind of feel your way around that. And if you do not trust, I feel that it's going to inhibit you from being successful in the industry because otherwise you're not going to have someone that's going to help build you back up or build your confidence up when you're feeling low, when maybe you're not getting the jobs that you're expecting. And I think a lot of times people make a big investment, let's say in coaching or in a demo or workshops, whatever they do. And immediately, if they don't get a job because they're not familiar enough with the industry, they immediately question themselves. They question the capabilities for anything and immediately feel like they need to get a return on their investment in the next week, which I wish I had gotten a return on my investment in the following week after I did my training. But this is a process. And not only do you have to trust in yourself, you've got to trust in the process.
I think we all went through that when we were younger and inexperienced. We did go through like, oh, how quickly is this going to happen? Am I going to get this really fast? And I love fast. I'm a fast person, but
yeah, me too.
That's just not the way industries work in general. It's not the way starting a business works. It's just not going to happen fast. And when it does, you got to thank your lucky stars for it happening in that way. But trusting is part of the way that we grow our tribe that we're hoping to have for the rest of our journey, like the longevity of our career. I feel like we should give tips, like tips on creating a trusting tribe. How do we do that, Ann? Right?
Tips on a trusting tribe. Well, first of all, I think it takes dedication and a desire to research and find the tribe, right? Find the tribe first.
Find the tribe,
right?
yes.
So trust yourself to research and find the tribe. And that means researching coaches, researching talent out there in the industry that seem to have had some level of success. Reading. I'm all about reading books, joining web forums and finding out who are the respected people in the industry and doing that education first. I mean, I know in the beginning when you first start coaching and creating a demo, and there's lots of people that talk about, oh, there's scammers out there that are going to take all your money and create a demo, and then it's not going to be a good demo, or it's not going to be a professional demo. And I think that a lot of people are scared about that. But I also think that you can take the matters into your own hands and, again, research. Join groups, read books, find the people that are well respected in the industry.
Absolutely. I do think there's a level of trust that you have to have in yourself. That is a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're starting out. Let's say you're doing your research, you're reading, you're in the industry mags, and you know what's going on with conferences, and you know what the best practices are, so to speak. But you need time to have that reveal itself, right? What we see and what we read and what we know and what we hear isn't always our truth through our own experiences. So you have to trust that you are smart enough, you're motivated and thoughtful enough, you're focused enough that you're going to start to put your trust, engage who that tribe is as you put it together, and not get upset when you put your trust into something or someone and it doesn't work out, because that is called experience. And experience is not always happy and fun and positive. Sometimes it's making a mistake, and we have to learn from those mistakes. We have to work through those and not make those again and say, wow, I'm glad I made that mistake, because now I know what doesn't work and what I shouldn't be trusting in the industry, and really move through it. But if we never give our trust to anything, if we're never 100% all in and know that we've got skin in the game, then we never really tested our theories, our methodologies, and our teachings. We never really tested it because we weren't willing to give it over 100% to see what great things can come of it. And I don't know about you, but like, you're super successful. I'm successful. A big part of that success is testing. Hit or miss, experimentation. And what happened to the joy of trying things, of experimenting?
Absolutely.
It's like so many people need to have this guarantee from the start what I'll
the safety net. It's like the trophy. They need the trophy, right? They need the trophy right away. And the thing of it is, and Lau, you and I have spoken about this, my overnight success took me many years, right? And if you're just getting into the industry and you're upset because you're not booking a week after you submitted your demo or started auditioning, trust in the process. Give it time. When I talk with my students, I try to tell them that it is not an overnight process, that it does take time. But I still feel as though some people just have to live that or experience that. There's a lot of people who never get past the making a demo stage because I believe they do not trust in the process. They don't give themselves enough of a chance to grow and to grow into the industry and start to see that success, which is not going to happen tomorrow. I'm sorry, you're not going to get that prize gig tomorrow.
No,
and it's okay. It is okay. You just need to, again, have trust, have faith in yourself. I'll tell you what, Lau, I am a big believer, and anybody who's listening to this podcast knows that I trust my gut. I live my life by my gut, and I run my business by my gut too, believe it or not. If it doesn't feel right, then I'm taking more steps to educating myself on to maybe why it doesn't feel right or what I might do to change it. As you mentioned before, just kind of take those little steps and change direction if you need to.
That's right. That's exactly right. And just be okay with that. Be okay with not knowing. Be okay with sometimes trusting the wrong person or the wrong process or whatever, because that's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we shape it up. The problem comes in where you trust something, it doesn't work your way, and then you keep trusting it and you keep trusting it, and you never learn from that. You don't redirect and pivot.
Or, exactly. You don't redirect or pivot, or you simply let it scare you away, right? Because you've been burned once.
Or shut you down.
I will have students that have come to me that have not had positive experiences with coaches or their demo production or whatever it might be, and it will make them very shy and very wary to continue moving on. And I always say, use those experiences. Like, it's okay. Like you said, it's okay to maybe the person that you thought you trusted didn't turn out to be what you thought, right? right? It's okay. Learn from it. Turn that into a positive experience and learn from that and grow from that. And so I'm always trying to tell people, don't beat yourself up over it. I mean, honestly, now you know. And so, boom, that was a wonderful lesson. I'm always trying to learn lessons from things that didn't go quite right or what people might perceive to be failures. And I don't even like to think of the word failure. I just say, oh, okay, well, that didn't work out. So what can I learn from that? And how can I grow from that? And that will turn most of those experiences into a positive one for me so that I can continue to grow and progress forward.
That's right. And be smart about how you trust. It's not about just, I trust this. I'm putting my trust in this. It's like, how do I trust? That famous presidential, trust but verify. Verify, meaning do the due diligence, do the homework, make sure as best as you can, is this person who they say they really are? Is this process what it really represents? Is there testimonial? Are there accolades? Are there honors that I should be aware of that build the ethos, build the credibility so I can trust even more? I want to do some verification. It doesn't mean that I'm putting them in the hot seat under a light bulb, duct taping them to a chair and grilling them. It just, right? You and I have been through that a lot, right?
Exactly.
Like a whole FBI scene. It's not that, but there is an intelligence in saying, let me do some background check. Let me just Google. Like everyone has Google. Why can't you just go on Google and see, is this person have bad reviews or seem dangerous or I don't know. But the point is, do that little bit of homework to verify, to make you feel that much more comfortable in who you're starting to put your trust into.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you cannot take that little tiny leap of faith and then see where that goes, right, and grow from it, you're going to be stagnant and you're going to sit there with demo in hand and never really progress any further. But I will say over and over again, and you as Lau with an agency and casting for so long, you must know how long it can take when somebody's first getting out into the industry to actually start being consistent in booking jobs. And even when you are consistent in booking jobs, every one of us has a time where there might be a lull in our business. And as the holidays approach, right, there are times when the business does get slow for some, right? Or it picks up for others. Political season is upon us. Some people are busier than they've ever been, but yet sometimes between holidays, there might be a lull in advertising. And so really that is the place when you feel, oh my gosh, why am I not getting any work? I must suck. You know what I mean? Or that's it. I've got to get out of the industry. And they panic, right? So many people panic and just trust the process. Again, find those people that you do trust that can help you through those times where you are starting to mentally, I think the mental panic here can really be something that inhibits successful voiceover actors. And sometimes they'll say, well, all right, that's cool because more work for me.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an ebb and flow to everything. There's ebbs and flows, highs and lows to every single business out there. It's not possible to be super successful in making tons of money every single day or getting jobs every single day. That would be an unrealistic expectation.
Lau, let me stop you right there. I love that you brought that up. Lau, do you think that the majority of talent books something every single day?
I don't know anyone that books something every single day. I just don't know anyone. And I know a lot of really busy VO talent that are recording all the time. But are they booking every single day? No, they're not. They're editing, they're catching up, they're marketing, they're doing retakes, they're visiting their mom and dad, but they're not booking every single day. That would be, I won't say impossible, but I'll say it's highly improbable.
Even people that are working every day, let's say you're, in the promo genre or that kind of thing, where they say there's the golden handcuffs, right? You are probably working, right? That same network job that just comes in every single day. I'm on a lot of telephone rosters. So I work every single day doing telephony, but it's because I'm on a roster that I expect that work and I know that work's coming in. But acquiring new work and getting new clients every single day, I agree with you. I don't know many people. I think it's highly unlikely. And so that's one, I think, misconception that people new to this industry might have. Like, oh, well, okay, I need to make so much. I remember constructing it like this. I would like to make so much money per month, right? $10,000 a month. So what would it take to make $10,000 a month, right? For 12 months, that's your 6-figure salary. So what will it take to book $10,000 a month? Well, if I could book 10 corporate jobs in the month, right, and do that consistently, then yeah, I'll have no problem. Now, that may or may not happen for a while, right? That could happen very sporadically. You could get a few corporate jobs. You could get 10 jobs, 20 jobs in one month, but maybe the following month, you may get one. And so because of that difference, right, in terms of consistency, that is where I think most people start to panic and lose their trust in the process of what this industry is all about. And again, it's kind of life as a freelancer. I like to say entrepreneur, right? But freelancer is the same thing, right? So we don't know where our next job is coming from. And that really has to be where your trust in the process lies, or trust in a mentor, trust in your people that you talk to in your accountability group, trust that the process will work out and that it will be okay.
And the truth is, we don't see what's happening in the background of anyone's world. So those folks that you're perceiving or booking every day have tons of work in the pipeline. So they're lining up the pipeline of work like last year, like 5 years ago. Like, it's not the booking of today that they're reaching out today. It's the reach out, oftentimes from months, if not years ago, that are just landing through and coming through on their pipeline. So in essence, they've done the footwork. They've done the preliminary work. They planted those seeds to keep that pipeline full so that it looks to the outside world like they're booking every day. And you know, the other thing I want to say too, Anne, was that the trust of everything. When I think about how many of our systems in our world are on trust systems, like even just going into a restaurant, you're ordering food and drink and all this stuff, and they are trusting you that you have money to pay for that. They're giving you the product first and saying, devour this. You're never going to give this back to us. We know it. And we're going to trust that you're going to pay for that, right? So we live in this trust system where we're providing a product, we're providing a service, and we haven't been paid for anything. We're just trusting that if I have an agent, they're going to work for me to get that money. If I don't, I'm going to work with that client, and I'm going to have that professional faith that they're going to send me a check.
And you have to have faith, yes, that your agent's going to be doing that work for you. And let's say if you did not book through an agent, right? I negotiate a lot of work myself. I actually will have stated in my quote, prepayment is preferred, especially if they're a new client, an electronic payment, by the way. But if I am working with a big client and I issue an invoice, I am trusting that they're going to pay me within the 30, 60, sometimes 90 days. And that is a trust in the process.
That's right. And it's scary. It's really scary because once in a while it doesn't happen. Once in a while we get burned. And I'm just here to tell you guys, if you get nothing out of this podcast, just know that in your lifetime, there will be times that you will get burned. And not to let that jade you or make you cynical or stop or scare you. Just know that sometimes you run into a bad situation. And what do you learn from that? What did you take away from that? What do you know now? Rather than getting angry and bitter, I'm going to get better from that situation.
Absolutely.
But most situations are just not going to be that. They're just not. They're going to be trustworthy.
And I think there's just the trust in so many things that you don't even think about, right? I had trust in the technology law on that last podcast that it was going to record us. And it didn't. But that's okay. I'm not bitter. I am not bitter. We learned from that, didn't we? Right? So now we know what to do. Yeah, now we know what to do. You know, it happens all the time. So I know that just seemed like a silly little example, but it was a true example of us turning that into a learning lesson. And I'm actually grateful that it happened because now I know what to do to alleviate it from happening again. And I'm grateful for that.
And watch this, Anne. I'm actually going to demo what the listener can do when they're in a situation where their ethos, I love using the word ethos. It's like a character building trust that we build as people and as professionals, when they feel it lowering, it's going down just a little bit because something wrong happened, something bad happened. So in the moment, you could make a decision by saying something, and I'm really going to say this to Anne, but demo it in front of the listening audience. I'm going to say, Anne, that happened because that was my fault on our side. We didn't realize we weren't going through Chrome as we typically do. We somehow lost our Chrome app and we just logged right into the link without remembering that we have to go through Chrome to record on Riverside. So what does that cause? There's a cause and effect to that whole trust system. Anne now has to go to her engineer and pay them a little extra to fix that and save that problem. So how do we restore trust?
There you go.
Is the morality. Right? The morality is I am going to offer to pay that engineer to do that because that shouldn't be on you because that was on our end. That was our fault. It wasn't intentional. It was just a mistake. But see, this is how you want to treat your peeps, your friends, your colleagues, your foes. Whether they accept it, that's up to them. Yeah. But to have the due diligence of saying, oh, too bad, I made a mistake, go figure it out. It's like, well, no, let me sort of rectify that. Let me see if I can offer something to make that better, to repair that. Is it life or death? Not life or death, but in the course of your relationships, attention to detail is really, really important. And when things go wrong or you make a mistake, because we're just human beings, try to rectify it, try to fix it, try to offer it.
That's a wonderful example. And I like that. And I'll see you that offer because I appreciate the offer, right? Our relationship, I value our relationship and I appreciate that offer, but I have already put that into my learning bin, right? Where I've learned where I need to make sure that my guests on the podcast need to make sure they're going through Chrome in order to record the video and the audio. So that's great. So I politely decline and say thank you for the offer. But yeah, it's a thing. And so I feel good about it. And so I want bosses who are just getting out into the industry and feeling scared or having expectations that may or may not correspond with what's actually happening to understand that, number one, just put that trust in it. If it doesn't turn out the way you expect, make sure that you think about what it is that you can do to learn from that.
Absolutely. There's a learning curve in everything, even if it's highly uncomfortable, something really bad occurs, whatever, just take the learning lesson and walk away and say, good, now I'm going to take this into my future relationships. I'm going to know who I can work with and who's not appropriate to work with, and just move on from it. And that will ensure your level of trust in the next person. In other words, you won't be carrying your garbage. You won't be carrying your trash from what went wrong here into the future. And I think we're doing therapy. I think this is going to save a lot of marriages, to be honest with you, right? Because you don't want to carry your last boyfriend's garbage into your new boyfriend's garbage.
That's right.
Yeah, you want to have a clear slate. That person, that client, if you will, or that colleague, they have a right to earn your trust fully. It's not fair to them to place all the stuff, because you were telling me earlier that you had a client that was having some trust issues about your services and this and that. And I'm thinking, oh, this reminds me so much of people who come in, you don't know where they're coming in from, and they just came in from all these bad relationships and experiences, and they're putting it right onto you.
Exactly.
How do you handle that, Anne, when that happens?
That's a great question. There's only so much. I like to say, well, you know what? It's their movie, right? And so I can't let that affect me in any kind of a way or inhibit my growth. And so I will just say, well, it's their movie. They're directing it, and I can help as much as I can, just reinforce that things do not necessarily happen a day after you start in this industry, and that you need to trust in the process. And other than that, other than giving that advice, I don't know of much else that I can do except to say, you know what, I'm here. If you need me in the future, that's absolutely fine. I'm happy to help you through that. But I feel like if you want help and then you step back because you got scared, right? Then there's no other way I can really help you anymore. at that point. It's got to be your decision.
That's right. And maybe that's the time, Anne, when you and I would say to that client, it's okay if this is not a good fit for you. Yeah. If you need to go somewhere else.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right? I.e., you should go somewhere else to work with someone that perhaps you have more trust in or whatever.
Or not.
It's okay to give them permission to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like not every client's a good client. Not every contract's a good contract. Not every job should be kept.
Absolutely. Right? And I think understanding and trusting in that gut feeling or that process, again, can help you to clear your mind. I like to have all positivity in my business and in my transactions and negotiations. And so that will help me to clear that.
Absolutely. I got one more for the road.
Okay.
And the one I just thought of in terms of like fear and trust, because they're entwined, they're entangled together, is like the fear of not being able to trust because it's going to go bad. So in other words, it's like the Murphy's Law thing. Like I'm projecting it's not going to go well. I'm projecting problems will happen.
Manifesting.
I'm projecting, and then it does.
Yep.
And then it inevitably does because you're sabotaging it.
And that's the energy that you are focusing on. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you're not wanting to trust or not capable of it yet or whatever. So you're going to give it a purpose and a justification for why you can't trust it.
Absolutely.
Be careful of that. Self-sabotage kills a lot of relationships.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, guys, bosses out there, learn to trust. Take those bitty steps, trust, and learn. That's the moral I have of the story today.
Learning it is good.
All right. All right.
One.
So, bosses, I'm going to give a great big shout out to our sponsor, IPDTL. You too can connect and network like bosses. Find out more at IPDTL.com. Also, if you want to make a big impact and have a very simple mission, you can find out more at 100voiceswhocare.org. All right, guys, bosses, have an amazing week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your host, Ann Ganguza. And take your business to the next level. Sign up for our mailing list at voboss.com and receive exclusive content, industry revolutionizing tips and strategies, and new ways to rock your business like a boss. Redistribution with permission, coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.